Welcome. We're here for a roughly 90-minute practice, always to give us the space to enter, the space to cool down, and of course that mid-section in between to move these bodies, and always with your breath. The most important aspect for the asana practice is to unify your pranayama, unify your prana, the life force. And begin seated. Maybe just slide your sitting bones, whether they're out, under, slightly back, just so your tailbone starts to really root down. And often this is the action of, it takes a while really to feel how much length you can bring into the tailbone. And at the same time, draw your pubic bone up. Let the hands rest on your legs. Come into your vertebra. Finding the lift of the pelvic floor, this mula bandha, this root. And contemplate on the grounded aspect of what you can do with the body or your mind. At the very same time, there's expansion, there's lightness. Listen to your breath and feel where it's moving. Even the point where it's entering your nose, how deep you can feel it go up into the back of your nostrils. And wash it down your spine. Can you wash it evenly? You know where I feel the imbalances in the neck or the chest. And the breath can be a good indicator of how much we can feel this cleansing aspect to expand, to contract. Feel that space below your rib cage, drawing up and in. Align your shoulders over your hips, allow the arms to be heavy. Bring your ears over your shoulders, relaxing the low jaw, chin is drawing in. Resting your tongue softly behind the teeth. Sometimes we do funny things with the tongue when we're in mid-movement. Sometimes a good check-in. Teeth are relaxed. Tongue is relaxed. Space between the brows relaxed. Crown of the head reaching. Tailbone rooting. Pelvic floor lifting. Space under the ribs drawing up and in, chin slightly folding. Your bandhas, your breath. And at the bottom of your next exhale, breathing all the breath out. Begin to inhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, and take the right hand and we'll fold down the first finger and the middle finger. And I'm hoping the sun will change in a moment so you can actually see me. I don't know whether to adjust the screen, but seal down right nostril and exhale all the breath out through your left side. Inhale, left side. And change. Seal left nostril. Exhale the breath all the way out through the right side. Inhale, right side. At the top, change. Use your thumb. Seal right nostril and slowly exhale through the left. Notice the shoulders. Keep them relaxed. Keep the attention relaxed in the base of the spine. Inhaling left. Changing mouth, face soft. Exhaling right. Full breath in, right side. Crisscrossing action, change, exhale left. Inhaling left, smooth, slow. Changing, exhaling right. Slow at the beginning, inhale right. Last one as you exhale left. Release the hand. With a little bit of pranayama, just notice changes to the nervous system. Just that drawing in this pratyahara of the senses with the mind. And the focus, the discipline. We'll do 3 rounds of breath of fire, also called Kapalabhati, where we'll pump the breath using the abdominals. We'll do 30 rounds, and then in between, you slightly lean forward. You kind of find a little bit of a cat back. Shoulders can lift. We're going to let the tailbone root down, pubic bone lift up, and you pull the abdominals back up and in and hold your breath out for as long as you can. So it's that action of the diaphragm really calming up and in. And it might feel when you do it the first time that you'll gasp for air, but you just release and let your inhale come again, and we'll go through another round. I'll guide you through. So first, just sitting up tall. Next exhale, all the breath out. Begin a 3/4 inhale. So inhale 3/4 full and begin to pump. You just use the nose. You use your abdominals to make the exhale happen. Well done. And the inhale happens naturally. Trick is to not get tense in the face or the shoulders. And just try to enjoy this action of using the belly to cleanse your lungs. Now take a pause. Take a deep breath in. Lean slightly forward with the hands. And exhale the breath out through the mouth at the bottom. Tailbone down, pubic bone lifted, hold the breath out. Allow the upper back to slightly round and pull your diaphragm up and in. When you need to inhale, soften the belly, sit back up, and find that breath. Preparing for the second round, inhale just 3/4 full and begin Kapalabhati. Still feel the back line of your backside, crown of the head reaching. You're still tall. And finding that lift, this pull and squeeze in from the center. You awaken all these little sphincters inside the organs as well. Take a pause. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Tailbone back, pubic bone lifted, slightly rounded. Think cat back as chin folds in. And pull your diaphragm deeply up in under the ribs. And just feel that seal. Try to find some internal softness. Even though there's pressure, you don't have to add to it with kind of scrunching, jaws relaxed, face is relaxed. You need to inhale, you sit back up, abdominals soft. Last round, when you're ready. Be in your own timing. Don't worry if when you're holding breath out that you can hold it out longer. It might even be a shorter pace of this pumping action. You might even find you're slightly faster. You're just paying attention to this action happening for you, your body, your senses, your mind, and your breath. Take a pause. Find that deep breath in, out through the mouth. Tailbone back. Pulling navel back toward the spine. Diaphragm up underneath the ribs. No rush. When you need to inhale, sit back up. And just quietly observe body, mind, senses. See if natural breath is moving into different parts of shoulders, belly, chest. Release the legs forward. Fingers can come slightly outside or forward of your hips as you point actively through the toes. Legs and toes back toward you. Seeing if you can feel action right up into low belly, into chest, into the throat. And if possible, stay with the oceanic breathing. Stay with slowing your breath down, hearing it. But trying to feel that full length of your spine, especially back of the neck as you breathe. And circle out the ankles in both directions. Come back to change cross of the legs. You might readjust sitting bones to anchor your tailbone down. You can sit up nice and tall over your hips. Begin to inhale to lift arms up and overhead. Really pull the upper arm bones back into the shoulder sockets, and we feel the opening maybe behind or in front of the collarbones. Exhale to lower the hands down beside you onto the ground. Crown of the head is tall. 2 more, reaching arms up and overhead. With breath, lifting through the pelvic floor. Exhale, hands reaching wide up beside you. Last one, knees are soft. And this time, twist to the right. Left hand comes to right knee. Right fingertips go behind the shoulder. Some of you might even like to hook to your left hip and seal the right forearm onto the back body. Get tall. Lift the ribs off of your hips. Find your collarbones expanding. Exhale, squeeze your scapula a little closer together down the back body. Next inhale, neck is relaxed, crown of the head is reaching. Lower jawbone, really drawing back, softening. And finding that squeeze from the center. Get a little taller out of the sacrum. And one more to slide your scapula down the back body. Next inhale, come forward. Reach arms up and overhead. Twisting to your left side as the left fingertips go behind you or even to the right hip. Lift the ribs off of your hips as you inhale. Feel your chest, collarbones open. Exhale, squeeze upper arm bones in and get the scapula to slide further down the back body. Neck is relaxed. Next inhale, feel your ears growing tall. As you exhale, the navel and the diaphragm draw back up and in under the ribs. Inhale to come forwards. Nice. Fingertips just beside you onto the ground. And lower the chin toward the throat. And feel this active seal here, where your fingertips are moving out. Where is the sacrum that we haven't leaned too far forward with the chest or the shoulders? It's just the head. Roll right ear to right shoulder. Take a breath in. Exhale, roll head forwards. Just the head. Arms are supporting the chest, the shoulder girdle. Fill out to the left. And continue on. Noticing how much you can still breathe through chest, ribs, the back ribs lowering down. And going steady. Really easing out, feeling how much length you can really make in the sides of the neck. So important to just gain as much kinesthetic awareness, proprioception into all the spinous processes. Next time the head comes through center, lift it back up to neutral and bring both hands to the chest. You might cover one hand on top of the other and let the elbows get heavy. We'll inhale to lift the chin, bottom jaw soft. Exhale, roll back the neck, base of the skull forwards. A few times. And that first one, you need to go with ease, caution as you feel what's there. And forwards. Just moving with your pace. What's it like when you lift the eyes? Continuing to keep the mouth soft. You can always start to change what hand is on top of the other, really using the weight of the arms to just traction this area in the front of the throat, the chest. Ooh, cool. Maybe one more of these. Breathing in. Coming to neutral and extend your legs forward. This time you bend the knees. And the feet kind of wide, maybe. Getting a little bit of space there inside the legs. And feel free to move your pelvis forward. Hands can be behind you, fingers pointing away. And then guide one knee to the ground. Back through center, exhale with the other. And maybe you squeeze in through the belly. And don't worry if the knee doesn't get all the way to the floor. Still squeeze shoulder blades together. And then one more time, you can re-change cross of the legs. Let's take the right hand beside you. Open up through your left arm. Really activate the fingers, the wrist. Feel your right hand rooted onto the floor. You might bend the elbow, going in for the side lean. But anchor the bottom left ribs down to the hips. Feel that left sitting bone and tailbone coming back in and down. And get as long as you can in the back of the neck. Notice the chin is at the center of the chest as you allow the crown of the head to reach out towards your right as well. Take a breath in here. Exhale, come up and change sides. Really pressing out through the fingertips, active in the wrists and the hands. Rolling right hand up and overhead. Tugging right sitting bone and the tailbone in and down. So you move the bottom of the right rib cage back towards the right side. Breathe into your occipital ridge, base of the skull, the back of the neck is long. And notice where the chin is. Inhale to come up through center and you change sides. Just go a few times one way and get a little bit of rhythm into it. Dogs. Use breath and that exhale to get you a little bit more sort of open into the ribs. Inhale to lift. And keep those sitting bones plugging in and down. You might find you move into different arm spaces with each repetition. And then you come back up to center. Pause, let the hands rest on your legs. And take a moment to feel the breath, feel the spine, and feel the movement through fingertips, shoulders. Space in the face. And connect to your heartbeat. Invitation to draw your hands together at your heart space. Acknowledging your practice, acknowledging being here on your mat. Move to all fours. Let's come onto the hands and the knees. I'm just getting in touch with the bones of the hands. Really move the hands as strongly as you can down into the mat. We'll tuck the toes. And start to send the tailbone back behind you. Belly relaxes. Front ribs relax as well. And slightly move chest between the arms. Between the throat. First sort of back bend shape. Exhale to change. And keep the awareness to all the long bones in the body. So every little finger bone, double bones in the forearms, the effect for the spine in between, even the leg bones. Keep going. If you've done a few of these, note you might want to roll the ribs round to one side, pick them up and roll them to the other. And just what this invites your chest or the arms, the neck to do. You want to just sort of squeeze and weave the tissues into the joints to open. Let's release the toe tuck, open the knees, and always press onto the flats of the feet and come back to child's pose. Send the fingers, hands forward. We'll work with the twist in child's pose. You come up onto fingertips, head and chest can lift a little, and you weave the left arm under the right here. And sometimes we do this from the tabletop. You just play with the space of the hips going back, drawing your left arm underneath you. You might walk immediately onto right fingertips, send them further forward. Resting on left side of the head, left temple. You let the hips roll back further in space. And it's awkward, but try to get somewhere where you really relieve the tissues, relieve this tightness that naturally comes into shoulders, chest. And dare to move your limbs, to change it up, to feel what's there. Come back through center. Open the arms wide. And feel free to just take a moment to pause in neutral spine. Lifting fingertips, chest. Head slightly off the mat. So you weave your right arm underneath. You come up onto left fingertips and they might walk forwards right away. And even though we're opening the armpit, we're asking the chest to come back and in. And even find that diaphragm lift up and in. You might slide back on your hips. Of course, if there's any knee issues, take care. Head can be relaxed. Feeling how the back of the neck stays in line with the spine. And just know if you can get a bit of a longer, deeper breath here. Sometimes when we come into a torsion or an awkward shape, we just hold. We're overly concentrated. We slowly release out. Arms forward. Already try to get some straight arms. Press the hands really down. As you start to come up, hover the knees. And arms really rooting down as you lift your hips high. And for your first down dog, feel free to sway the hips, bend the knees. Move the chin, the head. Pay attention to the action for the wrists or the fingers. You can look at the toes, the space in between the legs. Sometimes our feet need to be wider. Really lift your heels high and pull the heels up into the calf muscles and feel that action into the back of the legs, all the way to the pelvis. You can walk the feet in slightly and maybe bring more weight to the heels. Roll forwards into plank. As you hold plank, you might have to walk the feet back a little bit, heeled back, gaze slightly forward. And we know we won't be here forever, but you just try to find the calm in this sukha in the stira. A little bit of ease. Slowly release right knee under your hip. The lower leg can come out to the side, left foot grounds. Press firmly into right hand as you open up left arm. And see where you can feel in the right hand. How straight is that right arm? Can you feel the tricep onto the back of the arm? Feel the chest opening? How is your breath? How much of the ribs do you feel even in space? Bottom of both sets of rib cage rooting down towards your hips. You might extend left arm over the ear. Relaxing jaw, chin folding in. Take another breath here. Exhale to look down, left hand reaches for the floor, right foot to step back into plank. Now here from this plank pose, curl the chin in, dome up through your upper back, and lift hips back into down dog. That rippling effect. Strong arms, straight arms, step the feet in slightly. Deepen your breath and feel that length you're creating in the center. Lift the heels high. Keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Heels, draw tailbone in. Squeeze the muscles along the spine. Squeeze outer hips in. Chin to chest. Bring the diaphragm up under your ribs as you ripple forwards into plank. Strong legs, strong press of your arms. Relax left knee under left hip. Lower leg out to the side. Ground right leg, open up. Feel the bicep of your left arm, the tricep, feeling as your chest opens. Lengthen the rib cage down to the hips, tailbone away, pubic bone up toward your throat. How is your breath? Active feet and hands. Right arm might extend over the ear, super long in right side body. Looking down toward the floor, reach for the floor with the right hand. Once again, finding plank. Squeeze upper arm bones in, gaze slightly ahead around to the tip of the nose. This time, both knees to the floor. Shift your shoulders forward, pull the belly in as you come all the way onto prone position. Well done, nice, everybody. Come to the forearms. So we'll take the elbows under the shoulders. You might even extend one leg back and the other, lengthen them out, and almost find a little internal rotation of the thighs. You find the big toes here. Roll your thighs a little in. Get the tailbone back. And just feel the legs working. Feel this nice sort of release here for your lower back. Let the hands grip down so you use a bit of traction for your fingers and start to send the chest forwards. Tailbone away. Feeling this root down of your upper arms. And you might open the throat and squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back body. Shoulders moving away from the ears. And go that slow lift open without feeling the stress strain into the shoulders.
And very slowly, as we do the opposite action, we squeeze the upper arm bones in, press forearms down, start to let the head get heavy, start to feel the front ribs drawing back up and in, pubic bone still toward the ribs. And then you might even slightly lift your hips and work the deep abdominal there. Maybe little tremors here. Relax the hips down. Still pulling diaphragm up under the ribs as you send chest forwards. Draw the shoulder blades together. And the option here as you open up in, still work the feet, is to hover your elbows slightly. Elbows might hover and squeeze into the center. And maybe give yourself a little more lift through the chest. And as you lower down, relax the head. Start that roll in again, but keep the upper arm bones squeezing in. Find the upper arm bones into the shoulder sockets as you lift the sternum. Maybe lift the hips. Give a little squeeze of the glutes, tailbone back. Relaxing. Oh, let's bring the hands back beside the body and the hands facing down. Find your legs nice and active, big toes pressing into the floor, knees are lifting, quadriceps active. And just start to squeeze the muscles of the spine. And start with lower spine, tailbone back. Draw the belly up and in, that action of the diaphragm coming up under the ribs, and begin to lift the arms and legs. Squeeze that space in between the shoulder blades as you open up a little through the collarbones. And often we forget about the importance of the belly coming up and in to give you that lift. And then maybe lift the gaze. Use your breath and you might lift a little higher. A little higher. Active toes, arms. A little higher. Squeeze the spine. And exhale, lower down. Maybe head to one side. Take a full breath. In and out. Do that one more time. Option to interlace the hands. And it can be tricky to know if it helps with the interlace or not. The trick is first to get the upper arm bones really in. Use your legs. Start to squeeze the low back. Pull the belly up and in. And find the lift. Maybe float the legs a little higher. The arms can be released if needed. And then maybe look up. Still lengthen the back of the neck. Whoa. And slowly lower down. Turn head the other way. Let's bring hands around the shoulders. Scoop the elbows in. And then press into the feet. Find a cobra. Chest is lifting. Exhale, reset, melt the heart back down. In this time frame, ribs, tuck toes. Your choice to move up through a low push-up or come to the knees. So find that internal activation of bandhas. Downward facing dog, nice straight arms. Really root your hands down into the mat. You open the feet, step them in. Feel the armpits, side bodies lengthening, stretching out. And especially the long index finger. How much strength can you feel there? Walking feet forwards to meet the hands, relaxing the head. Feel every step. Feel that scoop up in of the core of your body. When you get toward the top of the mat, hands can come toward the shins or to the sides as you halfway lift. And really using the legs to strengthen the spine. Easing slightly forward. Exhale, let it go and relax. Maybe hands to the back of the legs or to the sides of the legs. 2 more halfway lifts. Hands can be to the sides, maybe fingertips touching the ground. Exhale, feel your inner legs lift up and in as the head relaxes. 1 more. Scoop the belly up and in as you move the sternum forward. And slowly, melt it all back in and down. We roll up to stand. Active legs and feet. Soft bend in the knees, so you really draw the tailbone underneath. When you arrive, reach arms up overhead. Hands by your side, Samastitihi. You come to the top of the mat. Feet can be hip distance or toes slightly touching, heels apart. Oh yeah. Ground down through the tailbone. Crown of the head is reaching. Right. The animal on. Just start to feel the weight of your fingertips. The weight of your lower jaw, drawing back in and down, tongue softly resting behind the teeth. Balance of the legs. Pull up through the front of the legs. Open the toes. Inner knees lifted, inner thighs drawn toward each other. Exhale all the breath out. And your next inhale, reach arms up and overhead. As you fold forward, pull the belly back. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Soft knees, right leg steps down the mat. And lower to the knee. Inhale to reach arms up and overhead. Stay strong in the legs. Tailbone rooting. Exhale to frame the front foot and step back into plank. Take an extra breath in plank, using your bandhas, knees to the ground, all the way down. Preparing for cobra, pubic bone roots. Inhale as you hug the elbows into the side, shoulders away from the ears. And exhale to downward facing dog. You can lower first or press up, strong straight arms, heels toward the floor. Right leg to meet the right thumb. Back knee lowers. Your next breath in, reach arms up and overhead. Exhale as you frame the front foot and step forward with the left foot to meet right. Reset, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deep fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, root to rise, Urdhva Hastasana. Hands by the side, Samastitihi. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, really draw diaphragm up under the ribs. Tailbone moving back away from you, head toward the feet, then toward the navel. Halfway lift, legs are strong and active. Left foot steps down the mat, back knee lowers. Inhale, your arms reach, that front root supporting. Right sitting bone in. Exhale to frame front foot, step back to plank. Maybe you take an extra breath here. With control and your bandhas lower to the ground. Preparing for cobra. Tailbone reaching away, elbows hugging in, and the collarbones are broadening. Downward facing dog. Left foot meets left thumb. Back knee lowers. Arms lift. Exhale to frame the foot. Stepping to the top of the mat, right foot meets left. Another inhale as you reset your spine. Outer hips in, head relaxes as you fold. Arms lift up overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. And this time you can rest hands at your heart space, Anjali Mudra. Let your breath deepen. Feel the feet solid into the floor. The strong heel bone rooting down, ankles supported. Kneecaps slightly soft. As the tailbone gets heavy, quadriceps pull up to your heart. Moving into B series with Utkatasana. So find your hips a bit more flexible, feet together, a bit more space, feet a little hip distance. The hands relaxed by your side. Let's bend the knees and just see if you can brush the floor with the fingertips. And this will get you already into the deep seat as we open up the arms, thumbs skyward, and maybe even a big V shape here. Lift the toes, feel your kneecaps lift, and then try and send the tailbone a little further back and maybe even a little down. How is the head and neck? How's the bottom jaw? Take another breath. Pull the belly in as you relax the head over the legs, looking towards your toes and then to the navel. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale as you step to plank. Your choice to lower the knees or move the elbows past the ribs as we come toward the floor. Inhaling to Cobra or Urdhva Mukha, pubic bone down. And exhaling, downward facing dog, really strong in your arms. Step the feet together here so your big toes will touch. And just notice what happens there up into the pelvis, your inner leg lines. And we give a little lift of the right leg. You can demi-point the foot, meaning open the toes and point through the ball of the foot, even in your hips. And even look back. Balance them out. Come high up onto the ball of left foot. Exhale as you bend the right knee, draw it in toward the belly, chest, shift the weight over the wrists and step right foot in between the hands. Let's stay on the ball of your back foot. Inhale to come up. Strong legs. Sense of purpose, sense of movement. Left arm forward, right hand back as we revolve. Squeeze the hips to center. Down high onto the ball of your back foot. Right hand past the hip, both arms up and overhead. Hands to your heart space. And then reaching your hands back behind you. You can interlace here. You might ground your back foot for a little more stability. You squeeze the elbows together, the chest opening. Take an inhale as you open your throat. And exhale, come forward. Stay open in the throat until you can't get any way further forward with the arms, with the head, and relaxing head toward the ground. Strong in the legs. Note if we lean the weight or we rest the weight all the way into that right leg, tuck your right sitting bone back. Inhale to come up. Release the arms, reach arms straight up and overhead. And exhale, frame the front foot with both hands. Downward facing dog, stepping back. Stepping your feet together. Feel both long arms, both strong legs, head relaxing. Raising left leg, demi-point, so toes are open. The heel is lifted. We lift the heel of the right foot, even in your hips. You can even check, have a little look. Bend left knee, draw it in toward belly, chest, step forward in between your hands. Really root down through that right big toe as you come up, arms lifting. Right arm forward, left hand back as you turn the ribs over to your left side. Squeeze outer hips to center. Well done. Left hand past the hip. Inhale up and overhead. Exhale to bring the hands behind the lower back and interlace. You can always ground your back foot here. Give you a little more of a stable stance. Open the chest, elbows coming back. As you let the throat open. Inhale deeply. And exhale to come forwards. When you can't get any further, relax the head. And feel the legs in the space. Really let the left sitting bone come back in. Maybe bend more into the left knee. Lowering the pelvis in space. Feel the shoulders drawing in together. Inhale to rise. Press down through the legs, release arms up overhead. Frame front foot, come to the ball of the back foot. And your choice, down dog, child's pose, plank, lowering to the ground for a cobra or up dog. No right or wrong here. What your energy levels need. We meet back either in child's pose or down dog. To count 5 long, slow, deep breaths. Try to balance it out. Maybe use the 4-part inhale, 4-part exhale. And at the bottom of the next exhale, with all the breath out, maybe step the feet in slightly, bend your knees, look forward, step, walk, or hop the feet to meet the hands. Inhale to halfway lift length. Exhale to fold. Utkatasana, bend the knees, feel your hands skim the ground and rise. Hands to your heart, exhaling. And take a moment. Soften the shoulders. Feel the feet. Feet can be hip distance. I'm going to bring the weight into the left leg. It's always interesting to try and feel as you move the weight into your left leg, even the inside, your sitting bone, the outer hip. Hands can start onto the hips. Use your hands to squeeze in. Come up onto the ball of your right foot. You might rest the right heel to the inside. You might bring it to the calf. Vrikshasana, tree pose. You can always re-establish your left foot anytime. Crown of the head reaching. You might let it find somewhere on the inside of left thigh. But really, this left leg is what we're stabilizing. And feel the bandhas here. Tailbone down, pubic bone lifted, diaphragm up under the ribs. And then hands can come to the heart. Maybe they come out and up overhead. And if we fall out, we come back in. And you squeeze down through your left foot, inside of the foot. Maybe another breath or two wherever you're at, working the muscles of your strong standing leg. Well done. Slowly release out. And for a moment, bring the hands to the front of the hip flexors. Let the toes lift, spread out. And just take your hands then to the lower back. Send the hips slightly forward. Allow your elbows to squeeze together. A little standing back then. Maybe use the thumbs to direct the tailbone down. Rising back to center. And wade into right foot, right leg. Scoop it in and around. Feel the inside, outside tailbone down, coming to ball of left foot, maybe to the heel, maybe to the calf. You can still balance there quite well. Maybe even without the help of the hand, you slide the leg so far up, it reaches to a point that you balance it on. Sometimes that's interesting as well. And of course, you can adjust with the hand any amount you need. Can you find Mula Bandha here? Can you find Uddiyana Bandha? Can you feel the back of the neck lengthen? Maybe the hands come to your heart. Maybe they reach up and overhead. And note when the body goes off piste, the muscles seeking to engage, to find their ways in which they work together. Is your tongue resting behind the teeth? Slowly coming out. Standing to the top of the mat. For Urdhva Hastasana, inhale, reach arms up overhead. Feel free to send your pelvis forward, maybe look up, even slightly lean back. Exhale, draw navel back up and in under the ribs as you fold forwards. Halfway lift your spine, inhale. Hands to the floor, this time downward facing dog, stepping back. Inner elbows forward, ears between your upper arms. And step the feet together. As you raise your right leg, spreading the toes, bend knee, and stack hip. You want to open the hip a little out to the side. Firmly into right arm. Draw the belly up and in. Use your lower abdominals and lift high onto the ball of left foot. And then curl right knee in toward the chest as you step your right foot between the hands. Rounding back foot for warrior two. Palm up, circling arms. The hips turn toward the left side of your mat. You can always feel your shoulders here in space first before you do anything with the arms. Maybe bend a little more into the right knee. Pubic bone lifted, tailbone down. When you're ready, you spread arms wide. And sometimes we lean too far forward. Sometimes we're too far back. Try to feel your shoulders once again over your hips, round of the head reaching. Nice. Let the elbows bend. Take a breath as you squeeze your shoulder blades together on the back body. Exhale, let the fingers turn down and take a little half curl of the head moving forward, fingers reaching back without losing the stealth and strength in your legs. Inhale to come up, bend elbows, open the chest. And exhale as you curl it round. Wonderful. Inhale to open. And exhale, bringing the right forearm to the right knee, left hand behind the low back. as you come into this variation of side angle. And some of you might like to bring your right hand to the floor, or you stay up onto the thigh. You can always stay nice and open with this left arm and use your left hand onto the back body to open the chest a little more. And you with the arm down. Some of you might even want to take the bind and find the left wrist. And here's the challenge when we're in this tough pose, to really lift up through both inner seams of both legs and bring the right sitting bone back in space, tailbone down, crown of the head reaching away. And move the breath into the base of your ribs. Moving into half moon. As you bring your right hand a little outside onto the left little toe side of the foot, bend into the right knee. You can take these little hops as you lift the left leg. Active foot, and you might come in once or twice, maybe stay with that half bind, working the balance on the right leg. And don't worry, it's challenging for this front leg. And here you're just trying to squeeze the bones of that foot into your mat, using what's there. As we lower down, bend the standing leg, alight your back foot, come back to warrior two, straighten the front leg, setting up for Trikonasana. Coming forward with the right hand, left arm up and over. So straightening the leg now feels a lot easier, hopefully. Tailbone away, gazes up. Utthita Trikonasana. Feel that space in between the arms, head neutral. And looking toward the ground, bending front knee, coming back into a high lunge, back foot steps back. Plank or down dog, your choice. You want to move through a back bend. Are you ready to rest? If you're lowering to the ground, elbows past the ribs. Tailbone away, legs, feet are active. Inhale through your back bend. And exhale to downward facing dog. Feet step together. Inhale to raise the left leg. Bend the knee, heel towards sitting bone. Scoop the outer right hip in. Firmly press through left hand. Draw your ribs under as you open the hip. Get really long through back of the neck. Lift high onto the ball of the right foot. Pull the heel up into the calf muscle. And start to bring left knee through. So the foot can step between your hands. The back foot grounds. I'm going to change sides. You come up to warrior two. And really get in touch with this back leg. Almost like spinning the back muscle round, lifting the inside of the foot, getting a bit lower into left knee. Tailbone rooting down. And sometimes we're out here, forwards. Bring the shoulders back over your ribs. Sometimes even bring the back hand. Ground your tailbone down. And the head up over your shoulders. And feel as if the sort of inner thighs are pulling, rising apart. Bring the hands behind the back. We'll interlace here. The shoulder shrug. Arms reaching down and away. And exhale, release shoulders inside the leg. Chest coming forward. Shoulder shrugging, other side. Just a bit of a deeper shoulder release here as you relax the head and still firmly use back leg. Inhale, rise. Releasing the arms.
Bringing your forearm to your left thigh as you go into side angle. And some of you will stay here, tucking the left sitting bone back. For some people, bringing hand inside the leg or even going for the bind. It's just being with the intensity for the left leg. Wrapping the chest open, turning that right shoulder back. And keeping the neck long. If the gaze is lifted, the chin is still in the center of the chest, or the head is in the center of the chest. Maybe a little lower with left sitting bone bend a little more into the knee. And coming forward for half moon. Bring your left hand to the outside of the little toe. Toe heel back foot in slightly. And finding that way to lift up. And it's a big ask for the left leg, but your fingertips are more to the outside, balancing under the shoulder. Feel the body in between. Well done. The half bind can help. The right hand glued to the lower back, active in your right foot. When it's time to come out, bend the standing leg, alight your back foot back. So you come back through a warrior two, setting up for Trikonasana, straightening the front leg. Reach out with the left arm so you come down, back heel grounded. And feel the shape of the torso in between arms, in between legs. Lift pubic bone right up. Always put a soft bend in that left knee. Get the bones of the foot working. Right arm straight, lifting out of the shoulder socket. Nice, look down. Reach for the floor. Thumb to the ball of the back foot. Downward facing dog or child's pose. And once again, count the breath. 5 long, slow, deep breaths in. Balance it out. The more you breathe, the stronger, the flexible, the more energy you'll have through the day. You're not there already. Lower the knees, come to child's pose. Hands can be forward, or you might like to rest your arms back beside you. Maybe sway the hips left to right. Or draw little circles with the tailbone. Rolling up to sit on the heels. Move hips over to one side, legs around in front. And if you can, bring your left leg back behind you, toes pointing away. Now, some of you might bend the knee to take a hold of the right foot. You might challenge yourself and see if you can lift the leg, the right leg in space, and catch hold of the foot. So you use your core here. Bring the leg towards you. Otherwise, bend knee, catch foot. We're here in Crown Chasana. That's it. Hold on. And if you find yourself tilting, if it's too much for that left leg, you can open it up a little. You can always bring it round and bend the left foot in toward the right leg. And see if you can lift the chest, lift the gaze. Just releasing the work there you did in the legs.
Left hand to the outside of the right foot. And let your right hand open. Turning the gaze back toward the thumb. And then letting the right leg come back to the floor. We'll roll out, change legs. Bending right knee in. You can always bring it to the inside of your leg. Foot to the inside or the foot behind. You can just play with the balance of bending knee, finding the leg, or grounding down through the sitting bones, pulling the belly in, and see if you can lift the leg towards your hands. And that's kind of reach for lower leg here. Holding through the foot, lift the chest. Keep the heart lifted. Keep the tailbone rooting down. And deepen the breath. Well done. Beautiful. Let's slowly release the leg. You can bend, or take the twist, sorry, right hand to the outside of the foot, opening out. Finding that movement, opening the chest. Gaze into the left thumb. Slowly coming back. And here we can release the leg. Roll out to the side to bring this foot forwards. As you prepare to roll down on the back, you might lift the feet. You can always keep the feet grounded. Make sure the tailbone's underneath you. You're working the glutes. Squeeze outer hips into center as you point through the toes. Lift pubic bone towards sternum, chest is lifted. And you roll down slow. Keep squeezing in. Activating through the feet. And eventually you find your way there. And set up bridge. Roll the arm bones in. Feel the triceps squeeze into the ground underneath you. Maybe your forearms lift. And even like we did when we interlaced the hands behind the back, you scoop the arm bones in. Squeeze these pointy scapula onto the back body. The heels coming toward the sitting bones, the toes slightly drawing in. Tailbone toward pubic bone. And even find the bandhas here before you lift the hips. See what it's like even just to find Mula Bandha before you lift your hips and bridge. It might be a whole other new action. Feel the chin drawing in and down, lower jawbone relaxing. When you're ready, squeeze the feet down. Lift the hips. Find your knees going forward. Feel that even stretch through the front body. Feel the shape and space. There's a little bit of space in the back of the neck as the back of your head roots into the ground. Nice. Press upper arm bones down a little bit more. Lift the skin off of the front of the thigh so that front of the thighs are working toward knees. And to come down, squeeze the glutes, tailbone toward knees. Draw your inner thighs toward each other. And try to massage from upper back, mid back, low back. This time we can lift the arms back behind us, finding like a Y shape. Heels still close to the sitting bone, back of the head heavy. Find pelvic floor, tailbone toward the heels. Front of your hips, inner groins moving toward the chest. Pulling the diaphragm under the ribs as you begin to lift the hips, squeezing the glutes. With this open reach of your hands, maybe moving into different parts of the shoulders, finding different bits of length in your spine. And now can you feel the feet? Building the knees above the feet. You're working the knees slightly forward. Take a big reach out through the fingertips. And lowering down ever so slowly, massaging vertebra by vertebra, especially between the shoulders. Drawing the knees up and toward you. Small little squeeze of the inner knees, ankles together. And as you lift the knees, lift the lower legs, you feel the action of the legs heading over to your right side, and that left hip slightly moving away. If we can, we want to seal the left arm, left shoulder down toward the ground. Naturally, with what tension might be there, it'll lift up. When your legs find the ground, feel free to use right arm to encourage the top of the left leg to move away from you and see what the head or left side of the chest shoulder wants to do. And feel the space in the lungs, in the chest. And you can feel the hips slightly squeezing together. Drawing back to center, pulling the belly back, squeeze the knees in. I think you just first feel the spine centered. Always use the feet. Open the arms out. The hands can be down or up. Sometimes down gives you a bit more leverage to broaden across the chest. Ankles, knees, lifting. Finding your breath. Feeling the center of the body. As the knees are heading over to the right or left, to the feet to the left, go slow. Feel the core action of the body, that turning, twisting. Bones of the legs going one way, and the bones in the right side of the body heading the other, maybe the head going right as well. You might place left hand onto the top of right leg. And the tailbone still reaching away. People naturally cooling poses are here to just spend a little longer in feel everything come back towards center. Move the energy, challenge the movement, the breath. Setting up for Shavasana very soon. And if there's a movement, something that will help you before that. All come back to center. Maybe something for the legs, something for the head, for your arms. And if you need a blanket, eye pillow, just an extra layer of clothing.
Well done. To this, just voluntary response for your breathing. Let go of all the bonds, all the bandhas. Any judgments or controls of your mind. Spoke by Rumi, The Guest House. I'm sure some of you have heard it maybe many times. But always like the truth, we need to hear it many times. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows, who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. They may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. This being human is a guest house. This body's on loan, this mind, this heart, these senses. Your quest here is to realize you are so much more than this body, this mind, these senses. And you are that because of which there is a body, and there is a mind, and there is a world for the senses. Thyself as the all-pervading, unchanging, pure ground of being. Om Shri Krishna Govinda Narayana. Om Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Full permission to meditate further. No need to move a muscle. I leave you here with heartfelt blessings, wishes into your day. And so much thanks and love for being here, for your support. Here, Gabby, our furry friends here also. Until we meet again, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.